And welcome to another Cheat Meal Monday. And today you find me outside. We got 3 inches of snow yesterday, and I'm really excited to get into my warm kitchen to share with you what our frugal meal is of the week. And it comes from the Campbell's Casserole Cookbook. So let's get started. And welcome to another Cheat Meal Monday. And today we're going to make a very frugal meal that is meat-free. So many of you asked if I could provide some recipes that don't have any meat in them. Today's recipe is called Broccoli and Noodle Supreme. As you know, I'm on my zero spend, and I'm going to share with you what I've been working on and how I'm able to have more of a food inventory so I know exactly what I have. So many times we are disorganized and we end up buying so much of the same thing because we don't realize that we have it. And today I was working on my freezer. So here is a little bit what I was working on earlier this morning. Embarrassing, I know, but this is what my freezer looks like. The zero spend is really going to help me with getting all of this food taken care of. So what I am going to do is I have the vacuum sealer now. I'm going to take all of the food out of here. I'm going to vacuum seal whatever I can. And that way I'm going to reduce the volume of food in this freezer. Now I have this little freezer and I have one other little freezer on top of a refrigerator. And what I want to do is I have 2 big kettles. One kettle is for anything that I can use to make soup with, because I am going to make some vegetable soup and can it. And the other kettle is going to go all of the foods that I need to vacuum seal. It takes someone really brave to show inside the freezer. And I did this one time last year and people loved it. So we have tomatoes is going to go in my vegetable soup. Now some of these things have been already sealed. So we're going to go ahead and put them so we're going to go ahead and just lay them out to put back. But here's baby lima beans. That's going to go in my soup. These here we got on sale. They're organic and they're amazing. I paid $4 for them. They are also going to be vacuum sealed. So we're going to get these out. Here's some more tomatoes. That's going in my soup. Corn is going in my soup. So as you see what I'm working on, and this is peppers and onions. These are okay. I have some apples, I have some bananas. All of this stuff is going to be vacuum sealed. Because I can't waste anything. Mixed vegetables, we know where that's going to go. That's going to be for soup. And I can't waste anything because I'm not spending. I'm not spending on food. I'm not spending. Here I have this that needs to get shredded up, so we're going to work on that. So as you can see, today's a busy day for me. But more tomatoes. It's going to go in my soup in an upcoming video. So I'm going to keep working. So I'm going to keep working on this, and then we're going to finish with our casserole for today. Everything is vacuum sealed and everything's put away, and it's the exact same food. I have a large kettle of food that I am going to can for vegetable soup, but this freezer is done. It took me about an hour and a half. So I got everything done here. I know exactly what I have, and I know how I can even go on to probably the next month in my zero spend. I am shooting towards having 2 months of zero spend, except for maybe a gallon of milk in the next month. So let's go ahead and close the freezer door and get started on our meal. So let's get back and let's get making our casserole. I have my casserole dish here. Now this recipe calls for the noodles to be uncooked. And I thought that just seemed a little strange to me, and it's only going to be in the oven 15 minutes, so I did not think that that may work too good. But the recipe says to have uncooked noodles, but I am cooking my noodles ahead of time. So let me pan the camera down and we'll get started. You can use frozen broccoli or fresh broccoli. So I have it frozen. Now it is partly thawed. It calls for 1 can of cream soup, and I still have a few of these left, and I'm going to use these until they're finished. And then from then on, I'm going to be making my own. So it's 1 can of cream of chicken soup. You can use the 98% fat-free if you choose so. And then it calls for 1 can of milk. Just realized, since it calls for 1 can of milk, I'm thinking that maybe I should just try putting the noodles in raw, because if the noodles are cooked, they're not going to soak up the milk. I am not sure what to do about this, because I've never heard of putting raw noodles in for only that short amount of time. So what I'm going to do is, we're just going to parboil the noodles. That way they're not fully cooked, but yet they're not cooked till they're soft. The way I am going to do it, you can try it with the raw noodles. I will share with you the recipe at the end of the video. Then it calls for 1/2 cup of sour cream. Now, you could always put chicken in this if you wanted to, but I'm going to go exactly how the recipe calls for it, and it's going to be a meat-free vegetable dish. 1/3 cup of Parmesan cheese, and I have exactly 1/3 cup. That worked out great. And then it has salt and pepper to taste. So I'm going to go ahead and put the noodles in. So we're going to add the noodles real slowly. And we're going to stir everything together. Go ahead and preheat my oven at 400 degrees. Now it doesn't call for a topping, but I am going to put butter crumbs on top of it, because to me it seems rather plain. So I'm going to go ahead and put some of these Ritz crackers with some butter on top of it. Just going to add some butter crumbs to it, simply just to give it a little more of a flavor. And what I did do is I did put the noodles in partly al dente, is what you would call it. They're parboiled. They're not cooked totally, but yet they're not totally raw, because we'll see what happens. It should cook up nice. And now it says cover it, and it's at 400 for 15 minutes. So that's all we do. So 400 degrees at 15 minutes. We're going to find out what it tastes like. It turned out amazing. So the noodles are nice and soft. It turned out so delicious looking, and I even tried a little bit of it. So what a great meal. I'm really surprised, because the whole noodle and it being raw and partly raw really confused me, but it turned out perfect. They're great. I had to keep them in for about another 5 to 10 minutes. So instead of 15 minutes, I would say 20 to 25. Really tasty. I hope you're having a great Cheat Meal Monday, and can't wait to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be showing you the canning of my apples, the apple pie filling. See you tomorrow. Bye, everybody. From Fanny's Diary, we're on January the 14th, 1943. Today, Fanny writes, I painted the kitchen chairs. I went to E-Town and helped clean the church. So it gave me 2 kettles of all kinds of vegetables to make vegetable soup. We have frozen tomatoes, and we have green beans from the garden, we have corn, we have carrots, we have lima beans, we have peas. So now tomorrow I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to can this up, and I'll show you a video of that as well. and that video will be out this weekend. To show you that by cleaning out my freezer, I was able to get some vegetables to make vegetable soup, because that is something that we really like to eat here, is vegetable soup, and I'm actually almost out of it. But if you like my Cheat Meal Mondays, I have all of my recipes in one location in my playlist, right down here. See you tomorrow. Bye!